Welcome to WeTaku Anime Review, a weekly, bi-weekly, sometimes generally annual podcast in which we talk about anime. I am one of your hosts, Jovan. I specialize in shonen, which this assuredly was not, but it is still a good watch, probably. And with me are two of my regular co-hosts and our third semi-regular co-host. Introduce yourselves, please.
Never
Thomas,
been annual.
I'm one of the regulars. This is Clannad After Story, and it used to be like my favorite show ever, but it's not anymore.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Deal with it.
Hi, I'm JD. I'm the guest caster. They usually bring me on as a trick to make me watch bad things, but luckily I actually enjoyed Clannad After Story.
I know. I was broken up about having to choose you for this.
When's our
Yeah,
next
it was-
movie?
It was a nice treat.
When's our next movie month? We'll invite you on again.
Oh boy. Should be June, which is, oh god. Alright, yeah, we're going to be announcing a thing at the end of this one. Whoops.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that came up pretty quick, didn't
Oh,
it?
Holy
today's
crap, that just
the
delays.
29th of May,
Wow. Welcome to Calendar Pod.
2017. In case anyone wants like a date on this.
I'll date this, which is also going to be uploaded to YouTube with a timestamp.
Yeah.
I
8
can.
weeks later.
Yeah, oh, come on. We're better than 8. Probably.
It's only 6.
Allan, I swear. Speaking of, would you like to introduce yourself?
No,
Mysterious voice coming from the heavens.
no, I don't want to introduce myself.
Oh.
If no one knows my
Oh.
name, no one will know who to blame.
It has your name, right? But
Right
it
on.
just doesn't have your face. It has Kyo's face.
Oh, you chose Kyo. That's a good choice.
It was.
It's
It's
the
the
same one as
same
last time.
choice as last time. It's the
Ah.
exact same image.
Listen, still a good choice. Alright, so as Thomas spoiled before, we are talking about Clannad After Story, otherwise known as the reason you watched Clannad. For those of you who don't know, I don't know who you are. How did you find our show without having watched Clannad beforehand? That's really impressive. Thank you. It shows that we're actually more important than Key. And nope. Nope, it's the truth.
Okay.
Quick rundown. After the events of Clannad, you have the characters kind of moving on to their own lives. You get a few more backstories of some of the tertiary characters from the first season. You get a little bit more with them, and then you find out what it's like to get a life after high school, to try to get a job, maybe go to college, find a person to marry. Okay, we found the person to marry last time, but still,
Looking
all
at it
this and
again.
more.
Looking at it again, it just took too long to get to the like good after part of
Mhm.
the story, you know?
Yeah,
No, like this feels like it was meant to be 12 episodes long, and someone told them to make 24.
so they put a 12 in the front before.
So
the
they
after-story
made
parts.
backstories for these characters that did not have backstories. I played through the visual. I don't believe they had backstories in the visual novel to any extent. The dorm lady, the library girl Yukina,
The cat.
the cat, my favorite character, the cat, who was once a boy. What a roller coaster of emotions that was.
Yeah, but after you make it through that part, you find out about actual life after high school, after trying to get promoted, dealing with family issues, trying to get married, and everything that comes with it. And then your heart gets hit with a hammer, but we're going to hit that one later. While we're still in spoiler-free section, Let's
why
talk
do we
about-
even have a spoiler-free section for this one?
We're working on the format.
why for this one specifically? I want to hear the argument here.
Oh, for this one
Because
specifically?
yeah, for this one
You said.
specifically, like
I don't know. I mean, like...
for Clannad After Story, the like second half of Clannad already. Why?
Because technically speaking, we're reviewing it as a separate show from Clannad. Get off my back. Maybe there's somebody out there who watched Clannad and then decided After Story can't be that good. Clannad wasn't amazing, and messed up. So
Or like, Clannad was amazing. They can't possibly follow this up. They did.
not a person. There's no person.
Like
There's no person who thought that.
when you're getting into anime, like when you're watching all the like harem crap, like this is still like amazing.
I mean, it's pretty good now still, but
Yeah, I mean like
Before we-
it's pretty good, but for like those people who are getting into it, it's amazing. You know,
no, that's true.
unless they just hate everything like not action, in which case, well,
I mean,
they're
to be
probably
fair,
not here.
I'm like that, and I'm still into it. So hey,
They're probably not here, for one thing.
So,
Yeah, they could be.
I still feel for like harems. This is probably one of the best examples that I've seen, at least. It's not exactly my favorite genre, but like Clannad, the first one was still good, and then this is kind of a thing in and of itself.
Yeah, and this is not a harem. It should be noted. This is post harem.
This is drama
after that story. Just name dropping that.
After you quote unquote have to guess who he's gonna get with, quote unquote.
Okay, I'm just gonna. You know what? We're in the spoiler-free section, but this is only a spoiler for season 1. So I'm gonna say it right now.
We're gonna spoil the hell out of the first.
Nagisa. It's so Nagisa. Anywho, still in spoiler-free though. I want to talk about something that like I really noticed and could not understand at first. The art quality just like jumps up. Like animation, art, colors, like everything is just like infinitely better. And the show only came out like half a year after the first season.
Yeah, I have no idea why.
What probably happened is they dedicated 2 teams instead of 1. So like the first season just got less time, while the second team just got to work on it while Clannad was airing, and then afterwards.
And then maybe the first team went and worked with the second team after that, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
I believe it, because there's a huge jump in animation, sound, name it, it
holds
gets
up
better.
Incredibly. I can't, like, most of the stuff I watch nowadays doesn't look as good as Clannad After Story looked. Like every little detail of the animation is fantastic.
I don't think sound improves that much. Like, it's good, but I think the first season had good sound too.
I'm not saying the first season didn't. I just think like season 2 used it better. Maybe it also helps that there's a lot more to get emotionally attached.
There's more impactful moments. Like hearing the Dango song didn't mean much in the first season, but when you hear it in the second season, it invokes Nagisa basically. Yeah. Stuff like that.
I guess since season 1 for me like wasn't super emotionally taxing at all. The music didn't hit me, but in season 2 you like hear that music for the corresponding scenes. I think, at least personally for me, it was a lot, at least if not better used. I guess the material made it feel better.
I will say though, the opening for this season is phenomenal. It's also by Leah. But like Magmel was somewhat trash. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good.
You're not gonna say somewhat trash and then not bad.
Is it from the visual novel?
It's recycling. It's recyclable.
I don't know. JD.
That's a JD question.
Oh, the visual. Jeez, it's been so long since I heard the track from the. I don't believe it was from the visual novel. The opening song.
Did you play After Story?
What? It was connected into one big visual novel when I played it, but I don't think the openings are part of it. Lots of tracks are obviously played throughout the visual novel, but I think that's the opening is the only thing that's exclusive to this show.
That's kind of exciting, though.
I'm fairly certain the first opening is from the visual novel.
It is. That one is for sure.
So.
Okay. It's been several years since I played the visual novel, so I don't have the music like offhand, but yeah.
Yeah, I have Wikipedia'd it while we were arguing about it. As it turns out, it's a remix of a tune used in a background song of the visual novel. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I think like in terms of the songs as well, it just skyrocketed in quality. Do we have any disagreements here?
No, yeah, it looks amazing.
Also, quality skyrocketing. The plot.
There is one
now.
There's a plot now. Yeah. No,
I think it's less that like there was there was a plot, but now it's got like further implications than just. Yeah, I mean, like the big climax is just like putting on the school show, and this it's like, hey, this is, we're not kids anymore. Like,
no,
that's the thing is I feel like the coming of age story isn't usually told for like out of school into the real world as much in shows, at least not that I've seen, where it's kind of like a harsh look at reality compared to how I feel like most shows portray graduation.
For sure.
where because like they don't go on to their dream jobs in most cases, like because like Tomoya becomes an electrician, which I don't think that's his passion, but it's something it's a job he does to pay for his family, and that's like I feel a realistic view for how someone would handle that situation of being married so young.
Pretty good gig though. Electricians make a good amount of money.
I mean, hey, yeah, it's working out. Like, now we have two characters who are supporting a family after doing nothing with themselves based off that same job. So, don't you dare forget about the best character in the entire show.
No, I remembered Yohei. He's doing other things. He's like in a big business.
He dye his hair black, but I think Jovan was talking about Yosuke.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yusuke.
I know
okay.
who he's talking about, but I remembered Yohei, best character.
We're gonna throw down on best girl segment. But do we have anything else spoiler free we can talk about with Clannad After Story? Alan's right, there isn't much to go off of with that. Just wanted to jump into the plot.
It was pretty good.
All right. So before we go into spoiler section, I want to ask: did you like it or did you not like it? Let's go around real fast, everybody. Tom. Someone, I don't care.
I liked it.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the second half of it.
I like most of it, except for like a couple things, I guess.
Alright, I guess we'll get into those. I'm also going to give it a thumbs up. With the caveat of, if you watched Clannad, then do yourself the favor. Just keep going. It's better than Clannad was. At least for me. Though I don't like harem stuff nearly as much. And with all that in mind, we're going to be jumping into spoiler section. If you have not watched this somehow, some way, but our recommendations make you want to do it, stop the video. Leave Twitch. We're going to be on YouTube anyways. Go, do the thing. Watch the show. Come back. We'll be waiting for you. We love you. We want your views and your love. And with all that in mind, we're going to be jumping into spoiler section in 5, 4, 3, 2. Now I'll take whatever I can get. 1. As always, we start spoiler section with one super important question. Who is your best girl?
Yohei Tsunohara, dude. Like, come on. He's the best friend, and he's, like, angsty and shit. Except not, like, bad angsty. Because, like, he gets moody sometimes, but it's, like, I think, like, it's understandable, and then he
It's
gets...
usually out of compassion that Tsunohara gets upset, which is nice.
And that one time, but... Alright, we have a Tsunohara. I'm tempted to agree with Tsunohara, but I'm giving it to good old-fashioned Yusuke. Best character, best girl. Because Yusuke gets 2 Jesus scenes in one baseball game, and that's enough. That's all he needs. He wins.
Unfortunately, I feel like Katomi wasn't present enough to give it to her, who is, of course, my favorite character.
Katomi, she was in the show, all right.
She was in it. Anyway, I'm probably gonna pick Mrs. Furukawa, like, cause like I don't know, she was like
Over Akio?
What? Yeah, honestly, because like she was ever present in the whole Yushio situation, and she's the one who managed to get Tomoya to reconnect with his daughter. Like, I feel like she's like, I don't know, she's kind of like a guiding light for Tomoya throughout the story.
Plus, if Akio shined in the first season, Sene definitely shows up a lot more in season 2.
Mm-hmm.
They almost like they split the time between seasons. One parent gets like way more light than the other each time. Not to say Akio still wasn't fantastic in season 2, as he came to terms with the fact that his daughter was married and has an oh boy. Also baseball, but Sene definitely plays a big role.
I'll give it to both the parents for putting up with this shit for so long.
My God. How understanding and loving must one be?
Because, like, honestly, like, he was working full time, so I get why they'd have probably okay with taking care of for most of the time. But just the fact of his, like, him distancing himself from his daughter as much as he did, and them just having to, like, watch that happen.
I think we should take it back real quick and, like, discuss and try to go in order to the end.
Yes.
Fair enough. Yeah, we kind of just started at the deep end.
Yeah, that's the fun part to talk about.
Yeah.
But
We have to work our way there. The show starts off after the summer where season 1 ended, in which you get to begin Clannad in all of its feelsy lovingness with a baseball game. That's the first episode. It's the best baseball game you've ever watched. Go watch that baseball game. You get to see Yusuke be a hero not once, but twice. You get to see everybody participate. Characters you even forgot existed, characters you love, characters you never cared about. Everybody gets to hit a ball with a stick in a diamond, and it's amazing.
I like it because Akio said we need to bring in the ringers, so they brought in Sunahara's little sister. She got to swing a few times.
She
struck out.
Don't worry about it.
She struck out, I believe.
Yeah, of course she did.
But it was honestly a fun episode. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I usually don't like the little just fan service the episodes that don't have any implications on the plot, but it's fun.
No, it's definitely a good opening to be like, previously on Clannad, stuff happened, but that's not what this is about. This is about baseball. Just like have some fun with the characters for a bit before like plot actually comes back. I'm into it.
And then the next little arc was about May and Sunahara, and it was weird, and I didn't like it.
Wait, the Sunahara half of that is incredible.
Yeah, it was.
Tomoya started dating Sunahara's sister for a little bit, and it
like
was
12?
really weird. And like when I first watched this, and even when I watch this now, I don't fully understand why the ruse had to go on for so long.
No, you gotta keep the ruse. Yeah.
We need your brother to like come and defend you, so I'm gonna pretend to date you for weeks.
But on the bright side, you also got Sene Furukawa in schoolgirl clothing and casual clothing. And you know what? That's good. That's fine. I'm into it. Listen, the art got us something, okay? Let me focus on like the one positive until Sunahara like actually comes to a head.
Yeah.
In which I want to talk about probably the most important scene of like... I can't call it the most important scene of the show because what we're gonna hit in a little bit. But in terms of finishing up character arcs and giving Sunahara, especially like making him a human being rather than a personified meme, the fight followed by the fight with the soccer players followed by the fight with Tomoya. Both of those scenes are, and especially the fight with Tomoya, is probably my favorite scene of After Story. I think I can like happily. I think it is. No, it's definitely my favorite. Listen, the rest of After Story is like not exactly a happy time. Let me have this.
I mean, it's up there. Like it's fantastic, but I mean, like.
Listen, some of the other scenes might be better. Some of the scenes might be better.
No,
but I cannot call them my favorite.
There is one really happy scene towards the latter half.
Yeah, but I actually kind of like this fight better, to be completely honest, because it doesn't have nearly as much baggage. So this, I don't know, for me that's the best moment, and for me it's, maybe not the best moment, it's my favorite moment. And it really cements Nohara as, like, not just being this goofy whack-ball, but also, like, this genuine human being and a good friend. And I'm into it. I'm so into it. And it's the first time Tomoya and Sunahara are, like, real friends.
And in these, like, character interest backstories they have for, like, these relatively minor characters, I would argue that Sunahara is the only one that, like, people actually cared about. Enough to kind of merit him having, like, several episodes dedicated to him in After Story.
Can I, like, rapid-fire the other ones?
Sure.
Anybody have a problem with that?
Oh.
Alright, great.
Yeah, no.
Yusuke was a rock star, then he did drugs, then he met Fuka's sister, and then they married. The dorm mom, somebody give me her name.
Miss Misai.
Misai. She fell in love with a boy who turned out to be a cat. Now that cat lives with her. It's literally a cat. I don't know what to do with that. We're gonna move on quickly.
I don't know.
That was that's one of the parts I really didn't like.
That was 2 whole episodes, everybody. After that, gang wars happen. They don't really amount to anything. They're fighting over literally nothing. They're trying to keep the police out of it, and then they do the end.
Also, don't forget.
Also, one that I didn't really like.
Yeah, don't forget Yukine is a character. Yukine, like.
I don't.
Gang wars and the girl who gives tea. Sorry.
They don't understand how gangs work. They don't like.
No, it's
no
fine.
gang's just gonna.
They just need to apologize.
Here to throw down. But now we're not here to throw down. Now we're done. Everything's great. And that was those 5 episodes. Great. We're done with them forever. Does anybody have any other thoughts about them? Good.
Hit
No.
or miss. Just they're hit or miss. That's all I have to say.
Sonohara's a hit, everybody else
5
misses the
whiffs in a
ball.
row.
Yep, it's great. But afterwards, the show begins.
Yeah.
Because you get where the show probably should have started, with Tomoyo trying to figure out what he's doing with his life as everybody else kind of does successful things, and he's just trying to find a successful, like, after high school job and nothing else.
Yeah, episode 12 was him just sitting in his room, like, just moping because Nagisa, and he, like, talks about how everything's, like, passing him by, and he sees, like, Nagisa gets sick again, but she's still able to go to school and, like, finish it up, and because she had to go back for her 3rd senior year, and I don't know, it was interesting just seeing him fall into this depression. It didn't last too long. I mean,
was
like,
it good?
it's kind of depressed most of the show, but like,
The specific one.
yeah. And it didn't like take too much out of it. It was just this episode, but it was, I think it was definitely a necessary episode, and I liked it, seeing it happen.
It's even worse that as he starts getting over it and starts finding himself finding success, you get the shadow of his father looming back over him and ruining his life once more. And you kind of start thinking, will life ever cut this guy a break? Ever? And the answer might surprise you. However, the end of that episode, the end of that depressive episode, it's a proposal. Everybody pop out the champagne. Get pumped. It wasn't under the greatest of circumstances. It might have involved punching a wall, crying in front of random strangers. But
I'm gonna rage marry you.
Are engaged. Yeah, it was kind of a rage marry.
Marry you out of my anger for my father. Love
Yeah,
it. It's fine.
wasn't the best moment for it, but like,
Nah,
damn
it's
it, was he
okay.
not dedicated to it?
They're all happy.
Episode 12 is kind of a bummer all the way through, but at least you have that little gem because you start moving from there.
It's him saying like, no, nah, I'm gonna go to the one good thing in my life, and that's Nikisa.
Literally it, to be completely honest, but yeah.
It'd be a shame if something happened to her.
Man, oh man, I don't think Tomoyo would be able to deal with that.
No.
But there is something in the way of his marriage. The second most important scene of this entire show in the Javon list. Baseball round 2 electric boogaloo with a proposal on the line.
Yeah. So Akio tells Tomoya. So Tomoya like comes out and he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna marry your daughter. And he's like, no, you're not. And she's like, yes, I am. He's like, no, you have to show dedication to something. And the thing he picks is baseball because Tomoya's never been great at baseball. He didn't
Also,
get
his
that
shoulder
one.
does-
Because like his injury, but whatever.
I mean, like minor things.
Doesn't
Literally a cripple, it's fine.
Good.
But yeah, so he has to dedicate himself to hitting. I don't think he even has to hit a home run. He just has to hit the ball
I think
that
that's the
Akio
one,
throws.
I'm not sure.
Because Akio throws really well. Because I guess he did baseball when he
Baseball
wasn't
in
an
high school,
actor.
actually.
It's fine, he did everything. Akio is perfect in every way.
Yeah. And so that happens. It's kind of cool.
You get a weak montage of just Tomoya being in the rain swinging a baseball bat at nothing forever. And I love it. Also because I just love the idea of people swinging. I don't know how baseball practice actually works, so this might just be real. But I just love watching anime people swing a ball at the air like over and over and over and over and over again and just being like, I'm improving.
Well,
I can feel it.
ideally
Yeah.
there'd be a ball coming towards them.
Yeah, see, that's what I think, right? But like, between this and Higurashi, I'm now convinced people just have bats and they swing them.
I'm
You just
fairly
need to go to
sure
a
you just go.
batting cage.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure you could just go to a batting cage.
Or you stand out in the rain, in a field across the street from your future father-in-law's house, and swing a baseball bat.
Like from what I see,
like,
they're pretty
hours.
popular in Japan. Like they're like easy access where there'll be like, up to like 6 people all in line like hitting these balls like in their own little cages.
Now I hear you. But imagine if you were just in a field with a bat, alone, for a week.
I'm also pretty
mean-
sure that in Higurashi he wasn't actually practicing swinging at a ball.
Yeah, but it was
There's
a
that.
legitimate excuse. That's the excuse he gave, and people were like, "All right, I guess."
Also, it makes me think of like the what is that?
Kendo?
Kendo,
Yes.
and how they just take all their time going and like
To be fair
stop.
though,
But they'd be
that's
very good at that
actually, like,
motion.
that's very hard to do. To be honest, like that is like being
I mean,
able
I'm
to
not in
strike
that
down
world,
and
so-
stop. Like I'm gonna say that's actually like probably harder than swinging a bat at nothing because your
But
force
why-
not changing.
Why practice stopping?
Because
like-
it forces your arms to be able to like stop you. Momentum canceling.
That's not the
You need to
point
momentum
of hitting
cancel.
people with swords.
If you don't have enough tech skill to play kendo, then like what are you even doing here? Fox only.
I mean, like fencers don't like stop. They don't like poke halfway out and then come back.
Well, yeah, but if
They
you swing
go
like
all the
this,
way out.
you swing like this and you miss though, and you can't stop yourself. Like you're flopping, I think.
Then I feel like you need to be like, okay, we're getting too far up.
We're very
Anyway.
off track, but
Alright. So we're just gonna fast forward into now they're married. We didn't get a wedding. Too bad. Anywho.
Good.
That's too much money, man. Too much.
yeah,
to be fair,
that's the problem
get a
this
wedding.
series had. It's not enough money.
Key's just like real poor. You have to be able to understand that, you know.
It's a
just-
small animation company.
I don't-
It's a small
you
indie
may not have
animation
heard of it.
company.
Kyoto
Yeah.
Annie, tiny.
But no. Watching them like actually be married and Nagisa finds work and everyone's being cute and fun and like having antics. And then the next amazing step in his life shows up. Pregnancy! And Nagisa tells everybody a very important thing.
It's a really funny moment, isn't it? It's
Enjoy
probably
it. I'd say I learned a lot from that scene. But yeah,
you just tell people that you have sex,
Mhm.
and sex makes babies.
And now that you're married, by damn it, father, I need it. I need it all. That's it. That's the scene. I love it. It's so great. You get to watch Akio deal with the fact that he's going to be a grandfather, which is good, but it also means that this shit-faced brat over there is banging his daughter, which is bad.
It's yeah.
Thank
I
you.
mean, like,
Thank you.
I mean, like, I can understand like Akio not. I mean, Akio likes him, but
Yeah.
like, I can understand if he didn't, because everyone calls him. Like the thing that they're trying to tell everyone is that he's a delinquent. They tell you that, they don't show it very well. They just show that he doesn't do anything, and then he gets into fights like a couple times, but it's like.
It's not just
minor.
that, though. I think it's the fact that Akio has to give up his daughter, who's been his whole life since sad backstory times.
Yeah. I'm just saying that like I could understand like being upset, if it's just some delinquent that she's marrying.
yeah. Honestly, I don't think he'd have a better reaction to anyone being with his
Honestly,
daughter.
I think Tomoya is as good as he's getting.
Yeah.
Like, he likes that guy. That guy, like, stood out there and played baseball for a week for him. Come on.
It's just the kind
He
of he's the very bravado masculine person who says no, it's my daughter, kind of defending her.
At the very
I'll
least,
have
it was
the baby.
somebody that he knew.
Yeah, I guess so.
And so
Um,
after that,
We find
they
out pregnancy might kill people.
well, they have celebrations first. They're like, "Oh, you're having a baby," and everyone from back home like shows up again, and they're like, "Oh my god!" And Nagisa's
Violin
like,
girl.
"Ooh," and then Tomoya's like, "Hey guys,"
And then Violin Girl talks about the other world that was brought up once last season,
yep,
and then they leave.
Man, awesome.
that's also happening still. The whole other world with the girl and the
Probably
junk
not.
robot,
Oh,
and they
right, yeah.
are trying to build the airplane to fly away out.
Yeah, beginning of every episode, you still have a little girl in another dimension trying to build a hot air balloon with a robot.
Yeah.
Is it a hot air balloon?
Pretty sure
No,
that
it was
is
a plane. It was a
that was
machine.
fine. Okay,
Yeah,
no.
I'm fairly sure. Yeah. But
Um,
Wow.
yeah.
All right, whatever. It's fine. It was a flying thing.
It's fine.
Yeah,
We'll talk about that more at the ending.
Yeah, and Violin Girl just kind of shows up, mentions it to you. Remember, like, it's just a hey, don't forget this is a thing.
Hey,
and
we're
then
not showing you this for nothing.
And then we have to decide whether or not it should be an abortion because there's a good chance that your girl Nagisa won't make it.
Yeah, so Nagisa being anime cancer, oh, hold on, what was it? I actually might still have the sticker. Anime autoimmune disease?
I mean, it's essentially what she does have, yeah.
Yeah.
Animades, if you will.
Animades. God.
That's...
I'm sorry.
No, oh, God.
That's called Mars of Destruction. Anyway, so, yeah, so she's sickly still. Like, she couldn't even finish... I mean, she barely finished her 3rd senior year of high school. And so now she's pregnant. Everyone's worrying that she can't do it correctly. And so I think everyone except for Nagisa is pushing her to have the baby in the hospital. And she doesn't want to do that, obviously. But it doesn't even matter anyway, because like they can't even leave because the whole place is snowed in. And she's like, all right, I guess it's baby pushing time. And she pushes and she pushes and she pushes. And a little baby comes out and like has this whole little white screen where it's like everything's quiet. And then
her
you
name
hear,
is Ushio.
"Nagisa!" And then like you hear some baby crying. And then you see Tomoya crying because Nagisa's dead.
Nagisa don't make it.
Yeah.
You had a season and a half to get attached to this character who made it despite all the odds. And then the odds caught up, and now she's gone. Man, can Tomoya's life get any... Tomoya. Can Tomoya's life get any worse? Probably not.
But at least he has a daughter, right? Everything gets better then.
Yeah, he's a great father.
He'll take care of and love that daughter.
In no way will he push her away onto her grandparents and become like an abusive shell of himself until he's essentially just his father. That won't happen. Oh, man.
But it has a great, like... lead up to that. I mean, like, no, there's no lead up. I mean, it kind of just happens. It's 5 years later.
Next episode, it's been 5 years, and now he's an abusive, horrible human being. Congratulations.
But, I mean, like, you can kind of see it coming, is the thing. Like, it's not like it's a big shock, I think, when you find out that he's...
It still sucks.
A drunk, that he just goes to work and he goes home. And then he sees his daughter every, like, month? Like, once a month or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought, like... It makes sense for Tomoya because like Tomoya like is so afraid of becoming his dad that he distances himself so far from his daughter that he just ends up becoming his dad anyways. In that like he's not abusing her by like physically by any means, but he like
not there for her.
The distance that he's putting between her and him to like keep her safe from him is effectively doing the same thing to her.
And so she never even calls him she never calls him dad. Ushio means ocean, and that's her name, and she calls him Tomoya, I think, right?
So.
And then
tried for Tosan once or twice, but like it kind of gets shut down. So.
And then, so he is trapped in the house with her because Sanai, like Sanai was saying before, tells him that she needs to run to the store or something like that, and that he needs to watch Ushio. And he goes there, and she doesn't come back.
Nope.
Ever. It's like for a week they're gone. And
I wonder where they went.
No, I believe it was Sanai said, "Hey, let's go on a trip, all of us." And then Tomoya gets there, and Sanai and Aki are just gone. And he's like, "Oh, I guess I have to take care of my daughter now."
I think both actually have.
And then, so they go on a vacation. And...
It's just them, just Tomoya and his daughter.
Yeah, and so, like, she's very quiet. She doesn't like to talk to him. And there's, like, this cute moment where he has to, like, make her, like, fix her toy. But that's, like, before they go on the train. Anyway, they go onto the train. I think she leaves to go to the bathroom for some reason, right?
She does that several times throughout them hanging out.
Yeah, and so like
was like a thing with her.
Yeah, we'll get to that. And so like she keeps going to the bathroom, comes back, and she just stays quiet and like looks at him. And then they like get to this place because I think they had tickets, and I gave them tickets to go specifically to some area, and in old Japan, or whatever. And they end up in this field, and he meets his grandmother there, and she tells him about how his father just wanted to do the best he could, but he was a failure, essentially, and that he wants to make up with him. And
has anyone seen a mirror? Because that's where we're at. Yeah, no, I can pick up. Yeah. So afterwards, he actually... So he talks to her first, and then he notices that his grandmother is essentially just shining a mirror in his face and making sure that, like, that's getting drilled hard. Him and Ushio go to the field, and she loses her toy. And they stay for, like, ever looking for it. She refuses to give up because it's the only thing he's ever given her.
First thing the guy
she's like super into it, and he's just yeah, and that's heartbreaking. Actually,
it's like a little Gundam, right, or something.
It's
a little robot. Yeah. Which, anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, just putting that out there, but.
They're like robots.
So he realizes that he needs to step up his game and, like, actually be a father to her, and vows that he's going to do it from there on out. Yeah. On top of that, afterwards, he finds his dad and convinces him to move back in with his mom and, like, try to not be terrible as a human.
We missed a cute part, though. So, after, like, finding the toy, I think it's been a while. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't watch it recently.
No, it's fine. Just go.
So they find the toy, and and then Ushio, like, starts crying. He's like, "Why are you crying? Stop crying!" And then, like, he hugs her, and she just starts crying more, and she says that she's not allowed to cry. Sanai had told her that she's not allowed to cry anywhere except the bathroom and in Daddy's arms, which is adorable and heartbreaking.
And heartbreaking. But look on the bright side. Tomoya has made up with his daughter. He's willing to be a real father. He's finally moving on, and the show hates you. Don't even. I'm not time.
He's also made up with his father, which is nice to some extent. He understands his father.
Yeah. More. And, like, you know, things are finally looking up again, and then Ushio has the same anime disease that Nagisa had, and then it snows, and then Key happened. Because you know what happens to sick characters in the snow? Does anybody know what happens to sick characters in the snow in a Key anime? Does anybody want to raise their hand and answer this question?
They die.
They die. They don't make it.
So that's, like, the end of the show.
And here's the fun parts.
Yeah, so this is what's interesting. So every, like, side story that they've had throughout the show, there's been a bright light at the end of them. In the visual novel, I'm pretty sure I read this, and JD
it's true. It's vouch.
True. If you collect all the shining emblems, you can make your wish come true, which is what Nagisa says, actually, I think in the very first episode.
Mm-hmm. And the spotlight, I believe.
The original
girl mentions.
However, no one actually remembers it, so it's kind of it feels really out of nowhere.
It does. Yeah. Even, like, they remind you every so often, but it feels pretty dumb.
So if you collect them all, then everyone's happy, and Nagisa's alive, and
Nagisa's alive, and Ushio's alive, and Animades isn't even a thing anymore, and everyone's great and happy, and it's amazing.
And there's a great picture they have of her where they're like, it's like 10 years. No, it must be 5 years later. Ushio's like 5 years old, and you see Nagisa and him that age, and it's cute. And then there's Junk Girl. Junk Girl. I'm not sure how they reveal it once again. But
don't say the word daddy. She says daddy as the world is disappearing.
Referring to the doll, I believe.
The robot.
Girl is Ushio the entire time, and the robot is
Tomoya.
Yeah, and I think that's where they have to collect all the lights at the end. So, like, once they get the lights, they bring it to that world, and in that world, they use the lights to, like, fly away, and flying away brings them back. Is that how it works?
Sure, but you're making it sound a lot more like real than it was.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell. This is how the anime did it. You see light, you see the plane flying, kind of. You see the girl say, "It's okay, Daddy," as the world goes white, and then suddenly you see a scene with like Tomoya, Nagisa, and Ushio, and then the show's over. All right, don't like try to make it a cohesive thing because that's not what like anyone
We'll
experienced.
just jump from this timeline to a happier timeline.
I'm saying
It's a better one. It's fine.
happened. It just doesn't show you that. Like you can't figure. Like you can figure it out.
Yeah, so talking about this, the ending is the most important thing to talk about because you either love it or you hate it. But before I ask either of you, I remember a certain somebody in the pre-show said that he didn't want to talk about it. So Allan, time to step up. How you feel about the ending, buddy?
It didn't happen. That's not what happened. It's so dumb. Why?
Because okay, so I think I don't think it's that different than them having him do all the arcs for all the characters and then not end up with them. I think it's very similar. It's them just trying to hit every story that they could have done from the game.
Yeah.
That said, I'm gonna go on the opposite line of okay. First off, no, I'm gonna say that the way they did it wasn't great.
No,
definitely could have been done better. That said, I am okay with the global reset of like here's just a better timeline because you know who deserves like just a better life? Tomoya. Like, come on. The universe is just angry at him for like in his past life he murdered 1 million people. Billions of people, something. Because the universe
he was
is like
Genghis Khan in his previous life.
Something. Because the universe is like, here's a nice thing, let me just take that away from you, and does that forever. And you know what?
But
he doesn't deserve it.
Honestly, I kind of prefer the idea of it just being grounded in reality and just kind of like miserable, and he's just like that's just how it is, and it's horrible, but like that's the works.
Now he's got to rebound with Tomoyo.
Because exactly, he's got to have a spin-off and play that visual novel, which is basically just porn, but that's fine. And we
did that one together.
Like the magical reset, I don't care if they explained it earlier. It's still magic in a world which I felt was pretty devoid of magic.
I'm gonna point out a few undevoid of magic moments. Namely,
the magic cat. Because I want to talk about the magic cat. What? We don't talk about
Fuko and the cat. Fuko and the cat both happened.
Yeah, but none of us liked those except for you.
I liked Fuko. I didn't like the cat. The cat's bad.
I didn't like Fuko. I thought the cat was alright.
See,
I
look,
like Fuko. I'd
out.
rather have the cat in place of Fuko the entire time. Like,
don't get me wrong. I don't think
he
Fuko's like
always
the best
does
character.
this. He always does stuff like this. They always have the tiny little magic in it. Like I like that. It's small bits of magic that they throw into everything. Except the later ones started using magic a little too much. But like Air had just like a little bit of magic, and I mean like because like the main character in Air turns into a bird.
No, it's fine. Canon was basically like the same amount of magic as Clannad was, just in different amounts and different characters.
Mm-hmm.
You had another like animal person and another like coma walking girl. Like it's pretty recycled to be completely honest. But like it's the same idea, same level of magic, same level of like not actually that egregious. But I don't think he's ever had like a universal reset button.
That's the thing. Is like the magic didn't take away from it. Didn't like mitigate story points like because just using it as like but everything's fine now because of stuff that I don't know.
It didn't shift the tone of the show or the visual novel drastically.
It didn't have time to. They gave it 10 seconds. It's just 10 seconds of like okay now everything's good. Bye.
No, I mean the other things like it didn't. They didn't like change anything. I guess.
No, if anything, it just gave you a few more plot points to work with and nothing else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then so after all of that happens, they have the extra from like back before.
Yeah, way before After Story.
Yeah, it's before After Story. It's when Nagisa they're just pulling pranks at Tomoyo
all right. So in the previous season, we did talk about Tomoyo After, in which, you know, he gets together, like, it's just an alternate universe in which he gets together with Tomoyo. In this one, you get Twin After.
Yeah.
I'm going to say twin because saying one or the other is technically untrue until the end, in which case...
Whoops. So, like, you can't end up with Ro in the visual novel.
Actually impossible.
This is what happens. Like, the show shows you what happens when you try to go for
Date Ro for a while, it turns out Kyo liked you, Kyo has more of an outgoing personality, and Ryo's a bitch. So... you get together with Kyo.
I don't know if she was a bitch, but...
No. I mean, like, in the sense of she's like, I'm not strong enough to fight for my emotions. Go, sister, be happy. I'll be crying in a corner somewhere else.
Yeah. Also, like, Ro's not even that important in the Kyo story arc if you just go for her, right?
No, Ro's not, like, important ever. Even in her own story, she's not an important character.
She's only important in the context of Kyo being the protective older sister.
And nothing else.
Like, she's just an innocent girl who likes reading the future.
Oh, that happened once. Yeah,
that happened a couple times. It's weird. I don't get it. But
no, it's fine. Yeah. So, yeah, Ro's not a character. Ro's not a character. Let it be known, Ro's not a character. But Kyo's great, and, like, you know what?
She's a better character than Gatomi is.
You see this microphone? This microphone's a better character than Gatomi is.
She had that moment with Fuko, which was fantastic in season 1. But we've already talked about that.
No,
Still great.
Pranks on Ro are great. Pranks with Ro, great. But Ro's not a character.
No, not really.
No.
Just skip to Tomoyo After.
We already did that bit. That was last season.
Yeah, that's just about the show. There are
kind of
just recap episodes, which suck. I hate recap episodes.
Yeah. Funnily enough, if you haven't watched the show but decided to listen to the podcast, we just kind of gave you the show.
Yeah.
This time around, we just kind of gave you the show because Clannad isn't. It's not the kind of show you discuss until the end. It's more of the kind of show you just kind of.
We just like anything we discussed in the first season. It kind of carries over until like the latter half of the show. In which case, like, I mean.
In which case, it's the Clannad audiobook, sponsored by WeTaku.
Yeah, honestly, just listen to that and then look at a bunch of pretty artwork of Clannad characters, and that should be about it.
You just search for Clannad After Story scenes on YouTube. The ones that are the most important are just there. Mm-hmm. No, in all reality, even like the episodes that are are worth watching once, right? Like, sure, we've seen the cat episode, and the We Already Know Yusuke's life, and all of that, whatever. But like watching it for the first time, it wasn't egregious by any means. You know what I mean? I mean, it was there, but like because we didn't know what After Story had for us. We didn't know what it was waiting for. Like it felt like it was just an extension of Clannad, so it was fine at the very least.
It's just I know that if it wasn't Clannad and it didn't look so good, that those stories would just be garbage that no one would ever want to watch.
Except for Sonohara.
Yeah.
Older Tsunohara.
They never felt pandering, which is kind of like the problem with a lot of harems and the like, where they just sort of fill up time and like try to keep you interested.
Man, they never had a beach episode.
Why didn't we have a beach episode? Now I'm angry.
I'm sure.
In this season, I didn't see one.
I'm pretty sure we never had a beach episode in this show.
We didn't.
There's a lack of Kyo or Tomoyo in my head in bikinis, and you know what? It's heartbreaking.
So honestly, I think the main problem with most of anime is that it's pandering. But I like the ones that don't, and I like this one.
All right, so as we're heading up the end of our discussion, I suppose, it's time for the most important question. Did you or would you recommend it?
Yeah.
Listen, at this point, if you watched Clannad, I'm recommending you at least just go all the way through, please. For God's, it's better than just like a regular harem. There's more to it. There's like coming of age, there's dealing with life, and there's watching one guy get shit on by the universe over and over and over and over and over and over and over again to the point that it's really just not a possible thing anymore. And then it does it some more.
I've had a couple friends.
Great experience.
I've had a couple friends I made watch this that didn't even watch anime and they liked it. So, if that says anything.
That's my little brother, so like, yeah.
Like, honestly, I feel like what this show's trying to do, it's probably the best example that I've at least heard of. That's doing it. Even the first Clannad, it's probably one of the better harem type shows. And this is just a great like drama and coming of age for Tomoya. And Tomoya's honestly a really interesting and great character.
And super deep.
With just how like his relationship with his father and how it's projected upon his daughter and how he conflict and he feels like he's ruining everyone's lives. Even though it's kind of not his fault for the most part.
But it's still real.
I'd also like to mention that even though we say harem, it's not like the type of harem where everyone just tries to get in his pants.
Yeah, it's not monster girls or anything like that. But
I forgot we live in 2017 now, where that's everything. No, it's a Key harem. If you've seen anything else by Key, it's that.
It's a visual novel. It's a visual novel adaptation.
It's everyone's best friend Tomoya.
Yeah.
All right. I guess with all that in mind, that is Clannad After Story now, because it turns out June is like in a day.
2 days.
3 days.
All right, whatever.
Well, I mean,
Point
30th,
being,
31st, and then June 1st.
Okay.
Yeah, and then June 1st, yeah.
So, this is when the show gets interesting. I know, right? For the next month, the show switches from bi-weekly to weekly. And
we're gonna hate ourselves.
We're doing movies. Some movies are bad. Some movies are good. And some movies are really, really bad. And then you argue about it on the show, and then nobody's happy and nobody loves each other ever again.
We're gonna hate ourselves, but...
No, I already know the movie I'm gonna pick.
I know
Don't
what
forget,
movie I'm picking.
we choose 2. There's a vote.
Don't
forget, I never got the movie I wanted.
I wanna say it now. Alright, so I was going to do Perfect Blue. It's gonna be the one that I wanted to do. It's a fucking
No, I'm in. Never mind.
great movie.
So
like,
good.
Amazing.
That's actually like the best movie.
But I also wanted to do Ghost in the Shell. And it's a little relevant now because the movie just came out. I haven't seen the new movie yet.
So
I'll get to it. I'll watch it. But
I'm guessing we're doing Thomas's pick first.
Oh no, I'm just saying what I want to do. I don't have to go first. Just want to.
I don't know if the rest of us have ours ready.
None of us have ours ready, but you know what? They'll find out on a vote eventually because all of our Twitters will have something on it probably because mine is not used, and therefore I believe in Allan and Steven's ability to get the vote out instead. Thanks, guys.
I don't have
I'm just gonna
Twitter.
retweet whatever you're
doing better. Yeah, but now you're implying Allan can actually tweet something. Now, as we figure out how logistics works, we're just going to say that is what you have to look forward to for the next month. Movie month was actually really fun last year. It didn't pick up as much traction as we had hoped past the first one. But, like, we're hoping... We had a great time, so we're going to do it again. We hope it works out. We hope you guys enjoy it. And as summer goes on, we have less gaming stuff. We have a little less everything, to be completely honest. But the WeTaku channels are still alive, and I believe Aaron has been putting out some solo content on that, so look out for that stuff. That's fun. Oh, and I'm required to say Thomas is tentatively doing a thing, because he told me to stop doing that.
Well,
so.
School started for me today, so...
Thomas is potentially doing a thing. Look out for it eventually. Alright, before we head out, though, I want to thank JD for showing up on the show, and we had a void again.
Hi.
We're happy to have you, bud, and next time I'll be sure to choose something you hate, because...
Oh boy, I'll have to find it.
God forbid you
reach
enjoy
deep into that barrel.
Come on for Shinsekai Ori.
Oh no, that's a good show.
That would be a good one, JD, you would like that. Or Edeka 7.
We already have a guest for Edeka 7.
But what if... Okay.
What if we have 6 people?
What if we just had a podcast of everyone we know and we talked about Edeka 7?
Dude, imagine what the screen would look like.
Listen, God, I have to design these. No, don't make me imagine how anything would look like. Thank you.
Dude, what if we had 8 people? That way you could have...
Hey, thanks for watching WeTaku anime reviews. This has been WeTaku. We talked about Clannad. Movies are gonna happen. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.